If we want to know about Jesus, we really have to go back to the beginning of the oldest story ever told. It's a story that goes back and starts with the existence of God. And God created the world and everything in it, and he created it good. And he gave people one rule: don't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat of it, you will surely die. And the first man, the first woman, they ate from that tree. They were making the decision that I want to decide what's right and wrong instead of letting God decide what's right and wrong for me. Anybody else do that? I mean, guilty is charged. There's times in my life where I've decided that what Chad wants to do wins out over what God wants me to do. But I'll tell you, every time I've done that, it hasn't turned out very well for me. So we have a problem in this world. We have death in this world. And we ask that question: why is there death? Why is there suffering? Why is there pain in this world? Well, it's because of our choice, right? It's because we chose to do it our way instead of God's way. Thankfully, we have a God that loves us, that doesn't want to leave us in the midst of this pain and suffering and death in this world, but has the desire to make things right with us. We don't deserve it, but he's done it anyway. So God sent Jesus to the world. God himself came down to the world. And so we say he's fully God and fully man as Jesus. He was born as a baby and lived a life that didn't do anything wrong, that never messed up. And then when he got older, he began to preach and to teach and to tell people who God was and to show people who God was. But some people didn't appreciate him very much, and so they put him to death on a cross. And when Jesus died on that cross, he died for all the bad things I've done and all the bad things that all of humanity, past, present, and future, have done. Because he wants to pay the price so that we can have a relationship with him again. So that he can heal that hurt that started in the garden and continues on to this day. But Jesus didn't stay dead. On the third day, he rose from the dead back to life, victorious over death, victorious over grave, victorious over those bad things that we have done, so that we can also have that same life with him, so that our lives can be different now, but also that we can be with him forever. That's what God originally wanted. He wanted us to be able to be with him forever. And so he's made a way for that to happen again. And you don't have to do anything to earn it. You don't have to say a certain thing. You don't have to do a certain thing. We just have to accept what he has given to us. In the Bible, a book of the Bible called Romans, chapter 10, verse 9 says, because if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. And so what that means is, do we believe this to be true about who Jesus is? Not only that, it says that Jesus is Lord. It's maybe a word like king would make more sense to us. The one in charge. Are we willing to let Jesus be in charge of our lives again? Are we willing to let him decide what's right and wrong for us and to follow what he desires for our lives? And if we confess who he is, and if we want him to be a part of our lives again, then we have this wonderful promise. We will be saved. Saved from the hurt and the pain that's in this world right now, because we'll have Jesus with us and we get to live with him forever. So saved from eternal death as well. I'd love for you to know more about who Jesus is. You can pray right now, which just means you're talking to God and telling him that's what you want. If you want to talk to me a little bit more about this, I'd love to have a conversation with you. If you live in the Alvin area, we'll set up a time and go get some coffee. If you're outside of town, you can always come to town and get some coffee, but I'd love to talk to you on the phone. You can shoot me an email as well. Our number here at the church is 281-331-3902. My email address is chad@southparkchurch.net. Please reach out. I'd love to talk to you more about who Jesus is.